a crown, oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. New look, got the ladies shook. New watch saying it's my time. These magazines wanna feature me, cause they know I'm on the rise. Get the attention, I'm on a mission. Cause ever since I flipped that switch, my power can't be denied. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. Call me a king, you can buy me a crown. Oh my, 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 oh my, my, my. I'm leveled up, and this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. Give the attention, I'm on a mission. I'm there with a vision. Got a passion, making it happen. Ready for action. And this is my world now. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. So anyone who try to write me off, tell them they can go and write this down. This is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. And this is my world now. This is my world now. Hey! Here we go! We coming ready or not, you better steady yourself, because we're raising some hell. There's nothing keeping this roof from blowing off. We're taking over the town, hit the switch and shut it down. Like Indian, we're electric, never stop. We coming ready or not, we coming ready or not. We giving all that we got, we giving all that we got. We coming ready or not. We're throwing gas on the fire, the stratosphere getting high. We're trouble
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater. People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at CLICKIT RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the second round playoffs Northwest Truck Series presented by CLICKIT RV, iRacing on LSRTV. Look who is back. Terry, have a Fanta on me. You're a Sundrop guy. I got you, but
I'll have the Dale Jr.'s late model stock car on it.
Hey, and he had a Ricky Bobby moment. I'm on fire at Bristol.
He did. He did. It's good to be back.
He didn't get hurt.
It's good to be back for the Northwest Truck Series. Playoff race in Michigan, race to come back to.
Yes.
My voice semi-hurts from Orange County to Southern National, where we rained out after 2 races. And then the World of Outlaws late model butt kicker series on iRacing just about an hour ago wrapped up with Evan C. getting the championship over there. And then I get to do this. And then tomorrow, the eNASCAR College iRacing series powered by NACE Star Leagues. And then I'm off for the week. So
there you go.
Yeah,
so pace yourself. Pace yourself, because we might hire you for Wednesday.
We'll pace it with an ice cold sun drop. We'll pace it just like this the night drops. So
well anyhow, we welcome you to our
we're getting ready for college, Wesley Outland.
Welcome back, but don't welcome back. You had to go there, didn't you?
Nope.
You had to.
GBO. I don't think I worked with you past Alabama getting beat by Tennessee. And then, we lost and got humbled by Florida. You guys got humbled by Texas. Crappy quarterback.
Let's talk about the race. You're making me mad. Joe Buck sounds excited.
It's a 26-22 game right now between Pittsburgh and Cleveland. So
yeah, fumble recovery, Pittsburgh. Yeah, here we go. Hey, I'm happy. Anyhow, sorry for turning. I had a squirrel moment. We welcome you, Wesley Outland. Terry Radford is in the house. You're not. Don't adjust your TV sets. He's here. And for those listening to the radio, we're glad to have Terry Radford here as well. All right, so Terry, let's go back to hear things. Round 2, Michigan. This is a intermediate racetrack. We could see 3, 4, 5 wide. There's the precision banking. This is a fun track, obviously, for these trucks. And I think no doubt about it, maybe I can see a little bit better if I put my 4 eyes on. Make no doubt about it, though, Terry. We are going to see a really, really exciting race, 200 miles, 100 laps, and it's the playoffs. So if you can win, you advance to that next round.
Yeah, it's a good point. And this is unpredictable. Have whoever starts up front necessarily ain't going to finish up front. Yes, you're going to have some speed. You'll have that track position, number 1 pit stall, or early into the box for the pit exit. But I'm sitting here. I watched a little bit of practice. I'm watching qualifying currently on our timing screen, thanks to live timing and LSRTV for this one. Devin West currently sitting on the pole. He only has it by 3/100ths of a second currently at this moment over Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith coming into this race has an opportunity, everybody else, to lock their way in. Jeff Stabnow with a great qualifying run just jumped up to 3rd on the board, moved Dan West Jr. down. We'll see a lot of drafting, a lot of good bumping we'll see here, but these trucks don't take it as well as the Xfinity cars or the NASCAR Cup Series cars do. So we'll see how these trucks play out over the course of this race. And, man, I'm really excited. It's Northwest Truck Series time.
It should be fun for sure. Right now, Devin West is the man at the top of the board, 39,440. As, of course, Terry just mentioned, Dennis Moore just climbed up the ladder. He's 2nd. And, Dennis Moore, 39,465, man. Very close times, as we mentioned here. As, again, obviously, Terry, and as somebody, you've raced in iRacing a long time, not only in the commentator spot as well. Do you compete differently in iRacing? Do you compete differently when you know it's the playoffs? What makes you compete differently because of it?
Oh, of course. I mean, the playoffs ramp it up for you. And for the drivers who are locked in into the playoffs, obviously they got through Richmond. They come into here as a great unknown. They always mention it. Talladega, Daytona, Michigan should easily be circled in there as well as an unknown. It's an equalizer for a lot of teams and a lot of drivers. You do have handling, but when it comes to the playoff mentality, the playoff mindset, you look at a guy like Devin West. He came in here and was like, listen, I have an opportunity here to show raw speed. That's what you need here at Michigan. Yes, you need a little bit of handling in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, but you don't need a whole lot of handling. As long as you can get the truck planted in 1, don't let it slide through the center. Don't let it slide off the exit. You can keep the momentum down the back straightaway, because that's really what these trucks are about. Momentum racetrack. I'm gonna go on a limb here, because I haven't been up here to call one of these in quite some time. It stays the same, but I personally think that the driver who walks out of here tonight with a win is going to be the number 63 of Dan Lather. I think Dan gets it done here this afternoon. Good speed so far in that one. I mean, he's sitting 8th on the board with a 39.5. He's about a 10th of a second off, but that 10th of a second gets made up real quick in the draft.
That's interesting. We'll watch that, and we hope you enjoy it as well. Let's go to on-track activity right now and see what's happening here. I'm going to say probably Dan West Jr. is going to continue the momentum that he's on. He's my
pick. I knew you were going to pick him.
So, yes.
I knew you was going to pick him. I knew it. When you said that you're about to pick one, I knew who you were about to say.
You thought I was going to pick Dan West Jr.? Really?
Yeah. I mean, he's a good
pick. I'm understanding we got some technical problems going on. Welcome back, Terry Radford. Let's find out what's going on. Charles Wooten, what's happening? Why can we not go to on-track activity? We're qualified.
Well, you see, what happened was Trading Paints has an issue. We could not come in as a spectator, so we came in as a driver. Terry, as a driver, we can't see him qualify.
Can't see nobody else qualify.
So, we're just going to see her ramble.
We're here for the next 10 minutes until the green flag drops.
Talk about your mullet. When you got to get it cut?
We got 5 minutes. They'll advance it 5 after, or 35 after. So, we got 2 of the best ramblers here, so have at it, boys.
I just opened up. I said, Terry, let's talk about your mullet. We're going to get cut off, right? Yeah.
You know who we can thank for the mullet? Miracle Flow Enhancement Shampoo. It's miracleflowhair.com. Keeps me with the best mullet in the game.
This is like Soul Glow from the movie Coming to America.
Hey, listen. She's waving. She's happy. The hair's on point. It's always on point, and I can thank the $1 Million Mullet, Riff Raff, the great shampoo over there at miracleflowhair.com. Has the best enhancement possible. It's made with a wonderful mint leaf. It has a very quick smell to it, and it burns a little bit if you're, if you put it in there right. But I mean, we got some time here.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Steelers the Steelers have a 4-point lead with 4 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. The Steelers have the ball back.
You do realize that Terry, that I'm diehard right there, right?
Yeah. But I mean, at the moment, if 2 timeouts for the Cleveland Browns, 2 timeouts for the Pittsburgh Steelers, has an opportunity to drive the ball down the field to solidify the win. They need a field goal then to make themselves up 7 to keep the game protected and make them tie it with a touchdown. And Deshaun Watson has had an abysmal game. A fumble, a pick, and the run game for Pittsburgh has been on point as they cannot get him down. He picks up 3rd and 1 on the 26-yard line. I feel like I could go do football. What do you think? If I'm over up in the Clayton, Raleigh, North Carolina region,
Terry, you should come do a football. Hey, I could probably use you for CRN Saturday night at County Line, and you could do football Thursday night. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like football would be my thing. I've always wanted to do something, and I want to be the voice of the volunteer. One day, wherever you are in the world, it's football time in Tennessee. That's what I want to do one day.
Yes. Oh, let's get to work. They're tired of seeing us, and we're tired of talking football. Let's go 200 miles, 100 laps here tonight. Let's take real quickly at the weather conditions before we give you the lineup. Kaufman Creative Weather, there it is, 78 degrees. Track temp at 94. Sunny, cloudy. That's what it means by mostly cloudy. Wind speed at 5. Let's give you the lineup now here in Michigan. Devin West on the pole, fast qualifier. Dennis Moore on the outside, row 1. Row 2, Kevin Smith and Jeff Stabnow will fire 4th. Row number 3, there's my pick, Dan West Jr., Ryan Bloom alongside. He won last week. He'll start 6th. Row 4, starting 7th, my apologies, Troy Daggett. And there goes Terry Radford's pick, Dan Lowther. We'll see what happens. Top 10, Roy Grande. And Toby Ritter's Clifford. We'll see him fire off 10th.
Yeah, go back there to row 6, Sean Brightsman and Frank Harris back there in 11th and 12th. 13th is going to go to John Ottenbacher. And then Stephen Paulison will be 14th here this afternoon. Row 8 is where you're going to find Brett A. Johnson and Stephen O'Hare to the outside. Row 9, Gary Nichols and Crazy Face Russ Lundberg. And rounding out your top 20 here this afternoon, B.J. Chidrick and William Fletcher.
Row 11, Ray 48, Chris Camary. Row 12, Scott Hutchinson, if he attempts to actually take the green. And Tyler Kim alongside, 38. Final starter, D. Charles Wooten, producer, hit guy, breaking news guy, and the only guy to triple digit, 999. There is a 129. Russ Lundberg is out there, and normally 333. James Vining.
We just really need to see if Charles can actually compete.
Why aren't we still seeing primer grade trucks here, Terry? What is the deal here?
Oh, Trade and Paint's got hacked, and so it has been
hacked?
Well, it's not still hacked, but it's still having an issue. The updated version of it. So as Charles alluded to, he had to join in the session as so instead of joining as a spectator, he became a regular competitor. So while he is live, when he finds replays, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge here for our producer this afternoon, and it takes a minute for all of these paint schemes to load properly with the correct spec map and the correct TGA file that runs with this one. As you see Dennis Moore on the outside look, it's off. Like it is about a quarter off. That unfortunately is how the night's probably going to go for the trading paint system.
So I see Devin West in a primer truck, and I see Dennis Moore in a primer truck.
Our truck's Destin, right?
Why do they have Dennis Moore in the 46? That's Sean Brightsman. Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Here we go again. Me and Jason had something like this happen to us, Terry, a couple of weeks ago for the Xfinity B Series cars. We'll make the best of it. Ready for the field to come to the line. Terry Radford's back. We're back. Michigan, 200 miles, 100 laps. Round 2, playoffs, season 10. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a virtual race, and we are underway. Quickly on the jump, it's Devin West. Quickly pulling away from Dennis Moore, not the 46 of Brightsman. And they'll send her off Terry into turn number 1 and 2 at full speed.
You got Jeff Stabnow right behind the 45 more on that outside lane. You're starting to see two drivers. They want to go to that outside lane as quickly as possible. It does not burn tires as much as the low lane does. So we'll see a ton of these drivers sitting in that second and third groove. Some will go to the bottom, but that'll be a little bit of a challenge if we get about 20, 30 green flag laps under us, Wesley.
Remember, we're live as well on LSRTV, YouTube, and Facebook. Hit that like, share, and follow button, as well as on at LSRTV, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as well as on the Community Radio Network. I think I didn't even mention we're live on the radio as well. But anyhow, the leaders work their way to the back stretch. Couple of primer trucks. That's Kevin Smith. That's Devin West. Then you've got Moore in the 46. But it's actually a 44. It's blinking. Maybe it's trying to fix itself. All this going on as they work into the corner.
You remember when I talked about bump drafting there? Jeff Stabnow got right up to the back bumper of the 55 of Dan West Jr., shoved him all down the back straightaway. Win it again. They go to the apron this time by. When they cross the line, lap 3 hits the board. It's LSRTV teammates that work that bottom lane and make it some hay. The 55 will work his way to second. He's going to try to get the lead from the 00 of Kevin Smith.
Working off that back straightaway now. Look at now Moore in that Sean Brightsman looking machine. He's actually now in a 44. He's right alongside Stabnow. And while that goes on, Win Racing falling back. That's Smith. Dan West Jr., my pick to the lead out of turn number 4.
Your pick takes the race lead, but he had a big assistance from the 24 of Jeff Stabnow, who absolutely threw him into the corner and allowed him to get that lead. I talked about it in the pre-race show, Wesley, that you would see a little bit of a different style of racing with the trucks compared to the Xfinity car. These trucks do not take pushes as well. You see it right there. Dennis Moore in the 44 works it down 3 wide down the back straightaway, barreling into 3.
It's Ryan Bloom, Dennis Moore, Kevin Smith, Devin West, Toby Ritter's your top 5 in the playoffs points at the end of round 1 last week at Richmond. And with all this goes on, we're watching them now. Bob and weave, juke and jive around the start-finish line. Dan West Jr. inside. Smith on the outside. That's the primer truck. Here comes now Dennis Moore and Jeff Stabnow alongside. And remember, as we mentioned, that's not Dennis Moore in that I'm sorry, that's not Sean Brightsman. That's Dennis Moore in a truck that looks like Sean Brightsman's. But the problem is, Terry, is you've got a truck that looks like Dennis Moore's in the pack in the top 10 up top behind Johnson.
Yeah, that's what it shows to us. But when the drivers are in the sim themselves, if their trading paints is working correctly, they will see the actual livery for those drivers, and they'll also see it on their relative box down to the right-hand side of their racing simulator. So all of these drivers know who's around them. What I was most shocked about was the fact that Jeff Stabnow stopped working as much with the 55 of Dan West Jr. He let him hang to the bottom, but then he kind of backed off a little bit, let him get back to the outside lane, let him get right behind Kevin Smith, and Smith has drove so far for the first 6 laps, coming to lap 7, Wesley, a very superb race. He's controlled the lines, kind of DEI style back in the 2000s, where he's worked both lanes to perfection, bottom, middle, and high lane. As now there's the challenge for the race lead. The 55 takes it to the outside.
Yeah, that's going to be right now Kevin Smith down to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll push up the racetrack on the driver, Dan West Jr. Jeff Stabnow in tow. Single file now they are. They bonsai off the safer barrier, getting loose off the tailgate of West is his teammate Stabnow. He's going back for the lead on Smith as they go into 3.
A little bit of a slide job as the 55 goes all the way to the bottom. He'll work his way up the racetrack. He'll get right in front of the nose of the 00 of Smith. He'll hold the lead this time. New race leader at Michigan. That's Dan West Jr. getting it done. The bottom lane still controlled, though, by the 24 of Stabnow. You also got the 44 of Dennis Moore down there working. Little early to think. Tire conservation mode for some of these drivers. If you crack the throttle 75% as Jeff gets loose, maybe he's burned that right rear up just a little bit. They'll have to temper that one as the race progresses because it doesn't look like there's a caution. They've raced very smart.
Yeah, right now, so far, everybody minding their P's and Q's and respecting one another here in the early going. By the way, I think last week at Richmond itself, Terry, 2 caution flags at Richmond last Monday night. I mean, no, I spoke too soon. Stabnow got turned. Cars, trucks wrecking. Stabnow in the fence. And we got a crash. First one of the night. Darn it, Terry. I'm sorry.
And that was a big one. You take a look at the replay here for all the fans watching on LSRTV. Stabnow goes into the corner, just holding his own. Currently running the 21st position. We'll see what happened. It looks like he might have just got hooked. He got the bump. You remember I talked about you can't really draft in these things as hard, and he just got turned. He just had somebody to the outside, and I don't think he expected that little room.
And Terry, with the exception of all that debris flying through the air, even with Stabnow off the safer barrier in reverse, I think some more trucks got collected in the accident too. There was an accident after Stabnow got turned. Watch this. Oh yeah, here we go. We're not done yet.
Yeah, they checked up there, and that's 2 trucks into the outside wall, and that'll slow them down. They got a fast repair, so that'll help them out, but they're going to have a monster task in front of them. They have to drive through this Devin West in the 5. Got caught up in that accident, and there was another truck that was hard into the wall and was not what these drivers wanted to see early on.
Yeah, very hard to tell without the help of timing and scoring our raw SDK feed as well as with the primer colors. And as you mentioned, Terry, going back to replay for Charles Wooten is going to be exceptionally difficult to try to find and pinpoint what truck is which, especially if they're in them primer trucks. And you see also 2 Ryan Bloom trucks coming down pit, staying on track as others are on pit road. Dan West Jr., Kevin Smith, Sean Breitzman, Audenbacher, Johnson, Harris, Kim, they're all on pit road, Terry.
Yeah, I talked about tire conservation mode, and for a lot of these drivers who were not caught up in the incident, Kevin Smith's going to come down pit road, Daggett, Breitzman, Frank Harris, Paulison, Tidrick, Kim, all on pit lane. That'll leave Ryan Bloom, Dennis Moore, Dan Lather, Toby Ritters, Roy Grande Jr., your top 5, and the Pittsburgh Steelers managed to sneak a win out in Pittsburgh against Cleveland, their AFC rival. So big win for the Steelers.
Woo! Here we go. That's all I got to say. Here we go. I did just turn around, Terry, and turn around and look at the TV in excitement. So, yes, I had my mics muted, but yes, I did.
I'm very excited for Saturday.
Why?
Because I'm going to watch the Ole Miss Rebels go into Tuscaloosa and give Nick Saban
Cut him off.
for the first time in his career 2 losses in a season this early.
No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They'll bounce back. Come on, fives. One is Ryan Bloom, and the other one, I believe, is that Dan Lowther? Is that your pick? Is that your pick, Scott?
That is my pick, sitting P3 at the moment. He escaped the problems.
Ryan Bloom has. I don't understand. I thought Charles, that you said that if you come in racer mode, that the trucks will look right. What happened?
Well, it was. 63 was Dan Lowther. Then it went to a new session, kind of went from practice to qualifying, and it broke.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, we have what we have, and we'll make the best of it. Hey, Terry, how about Ray Fournier in the yellow taxi cab looking truck 26, man? He's got a good run going for him right there, man. That's unusual for him.
Yeah, and he's working it.
Actually, I stand corrected. That's not Ray Fournier. That is Roy Grande. And Stephen O'Hare. It's one of them. And we're back underway, by the way. Lap number 12 of 100. Toby Ritter's understanding is in the 44 instead of the 23. Go Clifford.
This will throw us off all night long, but luckily we have the timing next to us. He jumps up to that third position. Lowther sitting in 4. You've got the who's not the 18, that's the 89 of Ottenbacher sitting in the 5th place position, currently up 8 spots in that ride, and he is not driving the Aerokinetics Chevy. He is the driver of the 89 Chevrolet.
And Terry, I'll tell you what, with the help of also the little ticker on the bottom and Charles giving us the live raw time and scoring feed, that will help us in at least trying to help you know which one is which for sure on the track. Yeah. Ottenbacher not in the 18, by the way. He's in that Promer truck, number 41. Yeah.
Poor Stephen O'Hare doesn't even have a paint scheme, and he looks behind him, and he sees the 55 of Dan West Jr., who's down 4 spots from where he started in the 5th place position. Tried to work it 3 wide on Roy Grande, and that would be Brett Johnson. And so Brett's working his way through the field. Brett would be up 8 positions from the 15th starting position up to the 7th spot. That'll leave him in a good, solid top 10 run. A lot of big movers so far inside this top 5, top 10. You got one up 8, up 9, and up 7 positions in this running order. And Toby Ritter's currently leads the pack of one of the biggest movers in 3rd.
Dennis Moore, Ryan Bloom, Toby Ritter's up to 3rd now. Dan West Jr. trying to get back into the top 5. He's in 5th now. Clears by Lowther. Dan West Jr. up to 4th. He wants to go after Toby Ritter's for that spot. And they work the back straightaway. What a gaggle of traffic now, 2 by 2, as they do-si-do to the 3rd turn.
Yeah, and this is fresh tires versus 14-lap old tires between the 55 and the rest of these boys. He worked his way just a little while ago, about 2 laps. He was sitting in the 9th place spot. He's currently now sitting in the 3rd place position as they cross the line, working lap 17 now. It'll put him up there, and you see John, he slipped back a little bit from that restart. He was sitting 4th. He's back to 5th. Not too much of a loss, but he's in a perfect position. If contact's made in front of him, he'll work his way through. You got a lot of grooves here, Wesley, to make a lot of action happen.
Dennis Moore back up to that top spot, as we mentioned, in the 44 truck. Dan West Jr. Now he's got to that 2nd spot again to the 55. All that's going on as they work through the triangle. Inside, outside. Lundberg up the racetrack. He's in 13th now. All that's going on, but now Frank Harris running him down. Bottom of the speedway on Lundberg. This goes on in front of Also, or in front of him is Jeff Stabnow. And we got a caution. There's a problem on the racetrack. Is that oh, no. Yeah, it is. It's Dan Lowther. Oh, wow. Your pick.
He'll rebound.
Yeah. Yellow flag number 2. Here's your replay on your home for sim racing and for those listening in radio. Terry, what happened here to the 40 to the 63 Dan Lowther? Oh, Johnson. Oh, Johnson.
Think he caught the seam there. And the air got taken off the spoiler, and around he goes in that 63. Dan Lowther.
Sorry, Mr. Johnson.
Not doing.
Oh, wait a minute. It's not Johnson. It's Brightsman in the 7 truck. Sean Brightsman.
Yeah, I think he just caught the same.
You see what happens.
Yeah, he never touched him.
Yeah.
Never touched him. Just caught the seam, and the rear of the truck went around.
That's that air that we always talk about, Terry, and it just made him go around here. Let's watch what we're under caution now. If you're one of those guys that didn't pit, do you pit now? Are you Moore, Bloom, Ritters, O'Hare, Grande? You pitting now?
Yeah, I'm pitting. You watched the 55 of Dan West Jr. drive through the field. He did it effortlessly. Dan's not going to want to waste a set of tires. He'll stay on the racetrack, and every person who pitted on that previous caution is not going to come in this time.
Some of them did.
Correct me if I'm wrong. These are open setups, correct, for the trucks?
Yes, it is. Yes.
I've
Fixed series is on
wanted
Wednesday
to come
night.
out here. I've always wanted to come out here and race one of my open setups against these guys. I might have to convince them not to let me in a race, but to let me at the session. You know, get all of these drivers together and just see where I stack up in the field at a racetrack.
Can we well, you know what? We're at the top of the hour. Actually, we're approaching the top of the hour. Let's pause for 10 seconds of radio identification on CRN, the Northwest Truck Series playoffs, and we'll ask Terry what the difference of open and fixed means, in case you didn't know, next.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Back here at the Michigan International Speedway, round 2 of season 10 for the Northwest Truck Series playoffs, presented by CLICKIT RV. TV and CRN. I'm Wesley Outland, Terry Radford alongside. Charles Wooten is in our CLICKIT RV production studio in Texas. All right, Terry, what's the difference between opened for the Monday night series and fixed, which is our Wednesday night CLICKIT RV fixed setup B series cars?
Well, so for your open setups, there's a lot more you can change. So all of these setups were built by either the driver or their team. So they can change anything from camber, caster, springs, right rear tire pressures. They used to be able to adjust tape, but with one of the latest updates with iRacing, they took that away. You only have race and qualifying mode. So that kind of changed the way they could find downforce. So normally you would add a little bit of tape to try to get the nose planted, but you can't do that no more. So you have to find it different ways. You have to lower the front shock, try to get that spoiler out of the air. So the night series for the B for the CLICKIT RV fixed series, the only thing you can adjust is brake bias. So you cannot adjust anything extra. What you show up with is equal to everybody else. That's based off of, I would say that this based off of your talent and skill you can win with them because you're on equal footing. In open side of things, you kind of can tailor that stuff to the driver, and it's more. There's still talent. Don't want anybody to mistake what I say, but the setup does a lot more of the talking with open setups, Wesley, than it does with the fixed setup.
All right, there you go. There's the difference between fixed and Terry. I was in no way being sarcastic. If you remember the
I love it.
Okay, we're back underway.
Because knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
Was one of It's always one of my favorite things to tell my employees. Knowledge is power. The more you know, just give them the star. Green flags back in the air. The difference of now would have been 10 lap pressure tires for the drivers that came in that time to Wesleyan. Right now, it's back to what it was before they pitted the 2-car and for the 55 is now. Here comes Dennis Moore. He looks out of John Bucker. And pass still back in line third.
I can't tell if you're buffering or if Charles is having issues or if I'm having issues. Okay, so it's coming on. Yeah, we'll try to find this out. Yeah, I only turn the video feed on whenever I know we're going on camera, brother. So right now, 23 of 100 laps when they come to the line. And we'll be 1/4 of the way through. Grande on the bottom. That's, of course, actually the driver of John Ottenbacher. We've got a problem with trading paints. We're sticking them 3 wide behind them. Sean Brightsman, the man in the middle. Working after it is also Ritters as they go into turn number 1, Terry. Wow.
Yeah, still getting 3 wide. The car down to the inside lane, caught the apron ever so slightly. He was able to hang on to that. In the 89, currently sitting fifth. He's got a challenge from Sean Brooksman, the outside in that 46 car. Change for the lead. Dennis Moore took it. Toby Ritters put himself to second over Dan West Jr. A lot of changes going on here inside this top 5 and top 10 as Wattenbacher almost made contact with Ryan Bloom.
Whatever you're doing right now with the squirrel on the wheel, don't stop right there. Just keep it where it's going with the hamster on that wheel. Working good now as they work the back stretch. It's Moore the leader. Ritters now to the 2nd spot. Dan West Jr. up to that 3rd position, as we mentioned, Bloom. And look at this gaggle of traffic stab now. Brightsman, Ottenbacher. They're going to go 3 wide again. And Terry, we told you, you can do that easily here at Michigan.
Yeah, you have 5 grooves you can work here. As now they work the low lane. They'll touch every square inch of this racetrack before 100 laps are completed. Stab now works his way back to 5th. He gets right in front of Stephen O'Hare, who O'Hare now throws it into turn 1, gets all the way down, almost touching that yellow line. Caution flag waved for the 3rd time.
Yellow flag in the fence. Problems, William Fletcher. And number 28, it's actually Brett Johnson. It's the William Fletcher wrap job, but it is Brett Johnson. And if you remember, Terry, the last caution, we blamed Brett Johnson for getting into the back. This time, he actually is involved. Troy Daggett and others in the fence. Caution number 3 here at Michigan.
Yeah, and had 2 cautions last week at Richmond, 3.
On board replay. You were saying, Terry, I think we lost you. Terry, you there? Oh, I think we lost Terry Radford. Maybe. Oh, Terry, come back. We'll wait to try to get back to him. Let's go side by side. We'll be back with Terry in a moment. You don't miss a thing. If they pit, they pit. If they don't, they don't. We're under yellow flag. Playoffs, Northwest Truck Series. CLICKIT RV, LSRTV, CRN from Michigan. We're back in a moment.
Time. It slips through our fingers like sand, flowing endlessly, yet holding immeasurable power within its grasp. Tick by tick, it shapes our lives, marking the moments that define us. For 10 long years, the Lone Star 600 has carved a path of endurance through time, a race unlike any other, where the boundaries of human and machine are pushed to their limits. over 180 cars, their engines roaring in unison as drivers push the limits of their cars and themselves. For 300 laps each night, they dance with danger, locked in a race against time itself. The Lone Star 600 is a testament to human resilience. It's not just a race, it's a test of wills, a fight against the unforgiving clock. Join us as we celebrate a decade of unparalleled speed and unyielding determination. The 10th annual Lone Star 600, a race that defies time and etches itself into racing history.
Some of these guys, I've been racing with them a long time, and they are good. They are real good. Winning a race like this is a big deal.
At CLICKIT RV, we know there's a lot of heritage and history at this location. RV sales and service has been part of this community for decades. We knew there was an incredible opportunity here, but to see where we've come in just a year is incredible. None of it would be possible without the patronage and support from this community. So whether it be a more convenient and accessible service drive, a fully stocked parts department, or this amazing sales facility, what drives this team daily is making sure our customers leave here with the best possible experience.
All right, we're back here at Michigan. And we're trying to get Terry Radford back with us in the booth as we are having some technical issues down in Savannah, Georgia, where he's located. And we'll get ready to try to bring him back to a restart. Lights off on the pace car, and we'll go back for green here. Charles, what you got for us, buddy?
Yeah, I don't know if you watched Men in Black. If Men in Black, the movie. I had internet problems. Now Terry has internet problems. If you remember in the movie, first or second one, the guy that had the little globe for a head, he said, where death is taken away, it will be replaced. Apparently, where internet problems go away, they will be replaced somewhere else, and that's what Terry's having.
Whatever you say. I never hear. Men in Black. That's all I'm going to say. Here come the Men in Black. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll bring him back to the restart zone here. Working lap number 30. Next time around, and we're back to underway, back to racing. Dennis Moore, Ryan Bloom, Toby Ritter's top three, 1, 2, and 3. Hopefully we can bring Terry Radford back in with us. Dan West Jr. down on the bottom. O'Hare right now for that spot inside, battling side by side. Here comes Moore in the 46, not the 44. To the lead, Dennis Moore. Dan West Jr. powers back on the bottom. And they'll work at 70 to go now. So far, 3 cautions. Real quickly, let's take a look at the Virginia 811 call before you dig. Caution summary information. It's on the bottom left of the monitor. Once we clear the pylon. There you go. 3 cautions, 7 laps. So 24 laps so far have been under caution, 23 actually. 6 lead changes. That's presented by Virginia811.com, reminding you, call before you dig and dig with care. Leaders come to the line. Dennis Moore, Ryan Bloom, Dan West Jr. Toby Ritters is in the 44, remember. O'Hare's in the primer truck. And Jeff Stab now back in the saddle of the top 6. All this working on the back straightaway now. Moore, the man in the top spot. He leads the way. Here comes Dan West Jr. back to the bottom. Single file. No, up on the top. Here comes a couple of trucks now trying to go solo on the bottom. Dan West Jr. thinks he's got something. He'll have O'Hare hook up with him. And they'll climb to second, climb to third. Here comes now some more trucks jumping out of line. He'll go with them as they work the corner. 2, back straight away. Dennis Moore back to that lead. Here comes down Dan West Jr. Looking to make a run for him. Back to the tri-oval here at Michigan, inside. Man, all the while we're watching. Look at this gaggle of traffic behind Moore. I know it's the Sean Brightsman truck, but it's actually Dennis Moore in that 44 machine. His Chevrolet leads. Bloom in second. His wrap job is real. Dennis Moore's wrap job is actually not. It's the 23 of Toby Ritter's. And what a job for Clifford, up to third. We'll hopefully be back with Terry Radford. Some technical issues in Georgia where he's at. And right now, Dennis Moore off the corner. He'll close in on another lap truck. That's the Lundberg's machine. Up high, clear a path, and we got a caution. Yellow flag will fly. This is the 4th caution of the race, and it's Troy Daggett, 99. So the 99, Troy Daggett. Oh, wow, this happened up in front of him, actually. Oh, no. Kevin Smith and others involved in this incident. Let's go on board with an extended replay. Russ Lundberg on the outside. By the way, welcome back, Russ Lundberg. Got into Kevin Smith. There's Kevin Smith. Contact loose, going around. Oh, no. Troy Daggett hard on the safer barrier. He puts 2 wheels up in the air, and another caution. Wow. So far, Dennis Moore pitted 1 time. That was on lap number 19. And now on lap number 36, he's coming down the pit road again. So will also Ryan Bloom, Dan West Jr., Jeff Stabnow, West, Annenbacher, Brightsman, Grande, Lundberg, Kim, Harris, Tidrick, Lowther. Everybody at least in the top 15 are on pit road. We are efforting that we can bring back Terry Radford. Some technical issues on Terry. And Jeff Stabnow overshooting his pit stall entering pit road. That's going to hurt the 24. Right now, Ritter's the man that leads the way. Ritter's, O'Hare, Sean Annenbacher, Gary Nichols, by the way, in that DuPont throwback colors now for the Rainbow Warrior. 4th. Sean Brightsman up to 5th. These are drivers that did not pit the last go around. Don't know if they're going to pit this time. Might be taking that field position instead. Well, not pitting yet. They'll stay out. And we see a sequence of pit stops now taking place where Ritters is now going to be the new leader. So Ritters now the top spot. Stephen O'Hare, front row. John Onenbacher, Gary Nichols, Sean Breitzman, Russell Lundberg. 37 of 100 laps. By the way, don't forget, Wednesday night, penultimate race for the playoffs before the playoffs start for season 4. For the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series, we're going to the Magic Mile, New Hampshire. New Hampshire, Talladega, round of 12 playoffs set. We're in round 2 for the playoffs tonight. By the way, don't forget that the next race for them will be at Milwaukee Mile next Monday night in Homestead, right out of October. We're wrapping up the first round, taking in 8 drivers to the next round of the playoffs. You win, you advance. And right now, of course, we're ready to see the field come back for a restart. Ryan Bloom, we know he's into the next round. Currently right now on track in 11th outside the top 10. Back underway, green flag. Ritters is the leader. Toby Ritters, Clifford. On the outside, not for long. Here comes O'Hare to the powers on the bottom. He's got Onenbacher right there. It looks like Grande's truck, but it's John Onenbacher in tow. And while that goes on, they'll drift up in front of one another, single file. Working off turn 4. O'Hare, Onenbacher, Ritters. Not anymore now. Ritters back to 4th. Breitzman's up to 3rd. Here comes Breitzman now. Battling with Moore. Breitzman is in the number 7 truck of Johnson. Dennis Moore is in the right truck, 44. He's now got him to the inside. Watch out on the bottom. Look at Onenbacher powering to the lead. Onenbacher in truck 18 now. Top spot, not anymore. Wow. Watch them moving. Bonsai, inside, outside. Looking at one another like they were open wheel cars in Indianapolis. And Moore back to the top spot. Breitzman watches inside, outside. He's in that second spot. He's in the Johnson truck 7. Onenbacher's in the Grande 18. O'Hare is in a primer truck. Thanks to the clowns that hijacked trading paints for this shenanigans. And they ain't been able to get it fixed again yet. Meanwhile, all of this going on into the turn. Moore in that top spot. Inside, Moore, Breitzman. Onenbacher up the hill. Closing in on halfway. Out of turn number 2, back straight away. It is Moore up top, Breitzman on the bottom. He's got He's got Ottenbacher now. Ryan Bloom's in the battle. Winner at Richmond last Monday night. Up to third. For this spot, O'Hare and Ritter's back in the top 6 as well. Watch him down in the corner. Just hold on to it. It is Dennis Moore. He's in the Brights Boutique 46 truck that looks like Sean Brightsman. Sean Brightsman is up in the hill in the number 7 truck of Johnson. And here comes now Bloom. He's in his real bomb speed Win Racing 25. He's on the apron. You can run on the flat below the white line here at Michigan. It's all fair. Hopefully we can bring Terry Radford back. I know he had some technical issues. And right now working lap number 44 of 100. Yeah. Dennis Moore still the man leading the way. Ryan Bloom, Sean Brightsman. There goes the 7. Brightsman back on the bottom inside. Looking for that spot on Bloom. Bloom protects. Ottenbacher in the 18. He usually in the 89. Couple of trucks battling there in the back of the top 10. Tidrick, Johnson, Ritters. See how far back Ritters fell. Man, he was in the top. He was in the lead. And in less than 7 laps, he's now fallen all the way back outside the top 10. Or at least he's in the top 10. He's in 9th. O'Hare and West, they go at it down in the turn. Down in the turn, number 1 and 2. Here you go inside. Inside again, Johnson. Johnson's got O'Hare to his bottom. West up on the outside. Lowther looking in as well. Lowther had a caution earlier in the race. Coming up on 96 miles into this race. $200 miles the distance, 100 laps here tonight at Michigan. Ritter's 44, not 23, thanks to Trading Paints. He's in 8th. Trying to run after Johnson now. Looking outside, looking inside. Carries West with him. That's Devin West. Goes after Father Dan West Jr. on the outside. Going after Tidrick. This is for the top 5, 5th, 6th, 7th track. Halfway next time by. And 100 miles completed. Back straight away. There you go. Oh, here we go again with Brightsman. But it's not Brightsman. It's Dennis Moore. He's in that truck. Brian Bloom will follow. Sean Brightsman is in the 7 Johnson-looking machine. And Tidrick We just showed him a moment ago, In-N-Out Burger car. And Odenbacher's, by the way, in the 18 Grande machine. 1, 2, 3, 4. There they go, single file. Halfway home, by the way, 100 miles in. 100 miles to go here tonight at Michigan. This is Tidrick, West, Johnson, Ritters going at it now. West gets around Ritters. They're going to battle back for that spot. Now they'll go single file back off into the turn. Closing in on under 48 laps to go. Lap 52 of 100, just past halfway. Hopefully, Terry Radford can come back and join us before we approach the end of this race. If not, we'll carry it to you for the finish. That's right now, Dennis Moore, still the man in that top spot. Ryan Bloom, Sean Breitzman, John Odenbacher, B.J. Tidrick, top 5. Brett Johnson, Devin West, Dan West Jr., Toby Ritters, Roy Grande, your top 10. Kevin Smith, Stephen O'Hare, Ray Fournier, Dan Lowther, Jeff Stabnow, Russ Lundberg, Gary Nichols, Tyler Kim, Stephen Paulison, Frank Harris. Your top 20. One truck a lap down is Troy Daggett. If a caution was to come out again, he would get the free pass to go back on the lead lap. There's Tidrick in that 5th spot down to the inside. He's got West will follow. That's West and West. 6th and 7th. Ritter's right there in that pack as well. Down in the corner again. Working off the back stretch. Oh, Tidrick, hold on. Boy, oh boy, with a bonsai there for a minute. Ritter's about, I thought, lost it. He holds on to it, stays in 7th spot. Powers along now, Dan West and Devin West. In the middle of that West family sandwich, if you will. Off of turn 4. More cautions than what we definitely were not expecting in probably the first half of this race so far. And right now we settle ourselves in for that green flag run. Charles Wooten on the racetrack making laps. Got a really good run going for him right now, looks like. He's in 22nd. Actually, I'm not sure who that. Charles, that's not you, is it? The 999? Charles. Maybe it is him. It is. Okay. I was going to say, what in the world? It just broke in laughing. That's Stephen Paulison, actually. My apologies. I thought you were out there on the racetrack, Charles, making laps. I thought you were, say the hell with this. I'm taking a ride on the wild side. Now, Paulson is actually doing, okay. He's 16th. Would you do better? Yeah, we're closing in on. Yeah, it's Stephen Paulson. He drives for Aerokinetics and the team. Now that looks like your truck though. It's your wrap drop. Chevrolet 99999. Yeah. Oh. Slap some lipstick on it, as they say, right? Oh boy. This is Toby Ritter's coming in on pit road. I believe so. Yep. Ritter's is on pit road. Russ Lundberg is on pit road. Gotta wonder if maybe Toby Ritter's is going for the undercut on Dennis Moore. That is not Dennis Moore, by the way, on pit road. That is Toby Ritter's. Russ Lundberg is also on the pit lane. Hey, let's give some love to Russ Lundberg real quick, Charles. Good to see the 129 back. Russ Lundberg. There he is. RGL Motorsports. That's right. His Ford right now. Lundberg at least in the top 20. Now falling a lap down. Don't forget, the second round of the playoffs is at Milwaukee Mile for the Northwest CLICKIT RV Fixed Setup Series, the B Series cars. Wednesday. As Nichols is on pit road in the 8. Remember I mentioned the Rainbow Warrior number 8 car, the DuPont car. Number 8. Here comes O'Hare coming on pit road, Stephen O'Hare. We got Frank Harris on pit road as well. So we got a sequence of green flag pit stops here. Just about over an hour into this race now. Terry back with us? Tidrick is in his right paint job finally. He's in 7th. Miller High Life. Yeah. Wait for it to all process here. Kevin Smith right behind him in the primer truck, 00. Looks like he's getting ready to go out and test for Daytona. Preseason testing, if you will. Smith up the hill. Here comes another truck on the bottom. This is Johnson, I believe it is. And Kevin Smith, Tidrick, Dan West Jr., all that going on in front of the Kevin Smith machine. In the 8th spot on the racetrack. Look at that. Lowther will follow behind him in the top 11. He's in 11th to 63. As Jeff Stabnow has moved his way back out of the top 10. And while that goes on, here comes Smith and Tidrick. They still battle for that 7th spot. Dan West Jr. inside. Did he think about going 3 wide? No, he doesn't. Lap number 64 of 100. Under 40 laps to go now. Long green flag stretch of the race, by the way. Over 40 laps, I think. Annenbacher, 18 on the wrap, but it's actually the 89 out of Billings, Montana. Annenbacher's on pit road in his Chevrolet. Charles Wooten wrecks on pit road. Stephen Paulison. And yes, I do, Charles. I do see aerokinetics in the paint. So it looked like it was trying to actually be a 58, but then it just didn't process through. Here comes now Devin West, Dan West Jr., Brett Johnson, Jeff Stabnow. They're all coming in on pit road. First truck a lap down now, Stephen O'Hare. Four tires, fuel. Four tires and fuel. Here comes now Johnson off pit road, driving the William Fletcher truck. I don't even think William Fletcher's even here. That's what's so funny. Yeah, that's what I mean. He was here, but he didn't start the race, as well as Scott Hutchinson again. Or Chris Camary. Kevin Smith on pit road, overshot his pit stall by about a second or so. Green flag pit stops continue. The leader is still Dennis Moore. Let's show you your top five. We're going to go side by side. We're back with more coverage from Michigan in a moment. The Northwest Truck Series playoffs. We'll be back in a moment.
At CLICKIT RV, we know there's a lot of heritage and history at this location. RV sales and service has been part of this community for decades. We knew there was an incredible opportunity here, but to see where we've come in just a year is incredible. None of it would be possible without the patronage and support from this community. So whether it be a more convenient and accessible service drive, a fully stocked parts department, or this amazing sales facility, what drives this team daily is making sure our customers leave here with the best possible experience.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we're closing in on that final three-quarter mark of the race completed. And that final 25-lap shootout. Welcome back to coverage of the Northwest CLICKIT RV Truck Series. It's the Northwest. It's the Open Series. The Fixed Series will be in action on Wednesday. We're going to be at Milwaukee Mile. Jason Rockefeller and myself. I think we lost Terry for the night. I think we lost Terry Radford for the night, and sorry about that. We'll bring him back in next Monday, hopefully. Some technical issues. Charles has had it. God knows I had it. I'm sure, fortunately, Terry's had it. It might be storming in Georgia, or might be the internet out. Something's going on, whatnot. We'll make the best of it, though. As Brightsman is still Brightsman's on pit road. He was the leader, but he's pitting now. There you see him in the number 7. And that is actually the Brett Johnson truck, but it's actually the 46. He is up in front. There's Dennis Moore, ironically, in his wrap job, passing him. Pardon the pun. Sean Brightsman is actually in the number 7, and Dennis Moore is in his 46 wrap job. And he just got passed by his own truck. If you didn't know, there was a hack in the world of trading paints for iRacing. Somebody had nothing better to do with their life but to hack a primer paint set. I don't know what benefit you would get out of doing that. But anyhow, there was hostage negotiations for wrap jobs and paints, and finally they got it back. But in doing so, they're still trying to fix all of the screw ups with all of the technical woes that are still there. So we do apologize for that. We'll make the best of, again, is what we're doing, making the best of it. But hey, by the way, we are live. We're live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. Hit that like, share, follow button if you haven't done so already. Thanks to everybody tuning in. And ready now to settle in for this final quarter of the race. 25 laps to go. Under 25 to go, actually, now when they come to the line. There's Dan West Jr. right there in second. Onenbacher in the 18. West in the 5. That's his son. Right there on the bottom of the inside. He'll make a move on Onenbacher. That's a couple of Team LSRTV drivers. Stab now in the outside looking in. He's in 10th right now. All this going on down the back straightaway. Off into the corner. You got Dennis Moore. We had that stretch of cautions. Real quickly, let's clear the scoring pylon with a rundown and show you that Virginia 811 call before you dig. Caution race summary. 4 cautions, 9 caution laps, and 11 lead changes. And yes, that is about 20 cautions less than what I did earlier. And I don't even know if they might have had more cautions even after I left. I did a race earlier tonight. They had 24 caution flags. And yeah, to say that I was fed up with the color yellow, the Banana Republic flag, you could take that to the bank. So far, 4 cautions in this one. Probably in the first 40 laps of the race, actually, because we have been on quite a green flag run now. And we're ready to bring this one on home for a late night supper or midnight snack if you are in the East Coast, because it is closing in on 1 a.m. And with all those pit stops cycle back around, Dennis Moore going back to the lead again. Dan West Jr., Devin West, Audenbacher, Bloom, top 5. Sean Brightsman, O'Hare, Jeff Stabnow now up to 8th. He was in 10th a lap ago. Kevin Smith and Brett Johnson in your top 10. And this battle between Win Racing and LSRTV continues to ensue in the playoffs just as much as it was during the regular season. And Dennis Moore still trying to hold on to that top spot. He's got Devin West in tow, along with Dan West Jr., Dennis Moore, looking at 20 laps to go. What a strong drive that number 44 has for Win Racing bomb speed. He's the only Win Racing driver in the front. Obviously, he's got Bloom in 4th. In the top 10, you've got currently Dan West Jr., Devin West, Sean Brightsman, John Audenbacher, Jeff Stabnow, Brett Johnson. Okay, so listen to this. There are currently 6 drivers. 6. Win Racing's out in front, but I don't know for how long. Dan West Jr., Devin West. Now Ryan Bloom just climbed up to the number 2 spot for Win Racing. So now Win Racing's 1 and 2 again. Team LSRTV has Brightsman, Dan West Jr., Devin West, John Audenbacher, Jeff Stabnow, and Brett Johnson. And that's what I was going to say just a moment ago before I lost the train of thought. Of the top 10, 6 of those drivers are from Team LSRTV. 3 out of the top 10 are from Win Racing. And that includes the top 2 of Dennis Moore, Ryan Bloom, and of course, Kevin Smith up to 8th. And Stephen O'Hare is by himself in his own little world. Stephen O'Hare. $18 laps to go. Dennis Moore, there you see him. And now you see the 25, Ryan Bloom. Bloom battling with Brightsman. There's your leaders, 1, 2, and 3 down the back stretch. We close in on the finish. 17, 16 to go at the line. Look at now, oh boy. West. Sorry, that was actually Brightsman. Brightsman looking inside and outside of Bloom. Inside, outside, the 7. That's actually the 46, Sean Brightsman. He looks and sees Dennis Moore in his truck up ahead, but that still is again Dennis Moore in the 44. Dennis Moore so far this year, number 2 in the points. 3 wins on the year along with 3 poles, 11 top 5s, 17 top 10s. Second in the points, obviously Ryan Bloom went on to win last week at Richmond, put himself into the next round of the playoffs. He is going to the round of 8. Whatever happens from here, the next 2 rounds after tonight, with 15 to go here at Michigan, Ryan Bloom is in to the next round. All he wants to do is win. And that is exactly what his mindset is with 15 to go. Bloom on the backside, on the bottom of the tailgate, looking at now the leader, Moore. Here comes Brightsman. Powers to the inside of his truck wrap. He's in the Johnson 7. To the line, 14 to go. We'll pause for 10 seconds of network identification on CRN, and we'll take you to the finish for Michigan. And we're going to go to the checker flag when we come back.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
Welcome back to our coverage. Round 2. Northwest Truck Series playoffs presented by CLICKIT RV. Well, we started with Terry Radford. Technical woes got him dismissed. I'm Wesley Outland. Charles Wooten is working on the action of the CLICKIT RV production setup studio in Texas, and we are ready to go to the finish here. 13 to go at Michigan. Longest green flag of the race run right now continues. Coming up, post-race analysis. I'll grab interviews with the podium. And we'll set you in for the finish. For the next race, penultimate race of the playoffs, that will be, of course, Milwaukee Mile next week. Homestead, 2 weeks. Final opportunities to try to put yourself into the playoffs if you haven't done so yet. Count it. A dozen laps remain. And it's Moore back in front again. One time he let Brightsman have it. And then he just fell back again. And I don't see anybody pitting. What we see is what we're going to get for the finish of this one. Brightsman inside. Ryan Bloom. Bloom gives him room on the inside. Here he comes down the backstretch. He'll close back in. Working into 3. On the tailgate, back in the corner. Back at it again. Gives him another spot. Lets him know he's there. Now we close in on 10 to go. Here at Michigan, ready for the finish on lap 90. Less than 20 miles remain. Off of the corner out of turn 4, back to the line. It's Moore, single file, Bloom and Brightsman. Right there to the inside of the racetrack. Open up that line. Give it to Bloom again. Trying to run in. He's going to help out his teammate, Dennis Moore. Who's your pick of the chat box to win the race? It's down to the end here. You got to get another great battle between Win Racing and LSRTV. By the way, the cavalry's coming. But can they get there? 2 seconds back is Dan West Jr., Devin West, John Ottenbacher, Brett Johnson. There they are in that pack. Then you got another battle going on. Johnson, Ottenbacher, stab now. Smith, stab now. Johnson, Ritters, and there is a caution. We got Ash. Race yellow flag. This changes everything. BJ Tidrick involved. Darlington, Vegas winner of 2020. Hasn't won since then. The In-N-Out Burger, 72 into the fence, and he gets joined by someone else. Oh, no. Put on the ticker down under the bottom who that is, Charles. I see it's Tidrick in 72. We'll try to find another replay of it. Is it Kevin Smith? I don't know if it was Kevin Smith or not. Dan West Jr. Whoever it was, they got into B.J. Tidrick. We know that much. So, well, so much for this. For this caution, everybody's coming down the pit road. And you knew it was going to happen. Seven laps to go. Remember, we're still in the regular scheduled distance. We're not in overtime yet. But, you know, Charles, I think it might be the 41, Stephen O'Hare. I think he might have been the one that was involved in it. Stephen O'Hare. We're checking a replay here. No, never mind. We lost the replay. What a good run for Dennis Moore. I know it's the 46 Sean Brightsman truck, but it is Dennis Moore out in front. And Win Racing has just put themselves in a 1-2. How about Ray Fournier real quickly? Charles, look at this guy in the Ottenbacher truck, but he's in the 26. What a run for Ray Fournier. He is in third. What a job for Ray. Ray Fournier, one of those drivers that did not make the playoffs. He's only on his third. He's only in his third start this year. Ray Fournier is in the 47th in the points. No top fives, no top tens. His best finish before tonight, where he's at, will be 17th back at Richmond last Saturday night, believe it or not. He hasn't ran, I'm sorry, my apologies, last Monday night. His most recent race before last week at Richmond was at Daytona, and he finished 33rd back in March. That was a long time ago. It's a long time ago. Got some drivers up on the front that have not decided to pit. You know the ingredients of this. Old tires versus new tires. Oh, will this shake things up a bit? It'll be 5 laps to go when they work their way back to the Geico restart zone as the pace car peels on. As the pace car peels onto the pit lane. All right. Have at it, boys. Ready to see what takes place here as we go back underway. Green flag in the air. 5 laps to go. 5 to go. Down into the corner into 1 and 2. Hold it together. Down into turn number 1. Everybody right now being patient. And he did. He spun the tires. He did. We saw that. Spun the tires. Hold on to it, though. Down into the turn, into 3. It's going to be Dennis Moore. Protects the bottom. Dan West Jr. down to the inside when it counts the most. Dan West Jr., we got a trouble. We got one in the fence. I don't think that's Ryan Bloom. It's Dan Lowther. And this has just sealed the fate for overtime here at Michigan. Dan Lowther, my colleague Terry Radford's pick. Losing it, drops below the apron. Got tagged by Tyler Kim. And into the safer barrier they both go. Caution out now with 4 remaining. All right. Well, another caution out. You have just sealed the fate for overtime now. Six cautions. Tonight, I've announced races that have had a total of 30 caution flags in one night. This has definitely been a lot less than the other one, for sure. Whew. So, caution came out just as Dan West Jr. was taking the lead. And they did say that he cleared by Dennis Moore to take the top spot. So obviously the restart is legit, and obviously his position is good. Now the question is, what will happen in overtime? Obviously, if you're new to overtime, you know the rules. We'll go to green. We wreck before the white. 2 attempts, 3 attempts if need be. 3rd attempt, caution comes out before the white. Field is frozen just like NASCAR, and the race is considered official. If at any time they take the white flag, the race is official. That means they take the white. If they crash, they're still going to run back to the checkered flag. Wreckers or checkers. And as our producer says, why can't they be friends? Why can't we be friends? We'll be humming, especially if something chaotic happens. Why can't we be friends? Cool having Terry Radford join us tonight for round 23. Sorry he had technical problems and was able to come back. Hopefully he'll return with us next Monday night. We'll be in action at Milwaukee Mile. Milwaukee Mile next Monday night. Gonna be a fun time. One of the oldest, actually it is the oldest racetrack in the entire U.S., Milwaukee Mile. Don't know if you knew that stat, but it is actually true. Milwaukee Mile's been around longer than Indianapolis Motor Speedway and even Daytona and even Michigan. Ready for the finish. Virtual Milwaukee Mile next Monday night. Penultimate race in the round of 12. We're back underway. Green flag, green, white checker, and Dan West Jr. is pulling away in the double nickel. Remember what I told you about momentum and continuing to carry that momentum. Dan West Jr. is doing just that after winning the other night in the Northwest Series, the B Series class. If you remember, tuned in last Wednesday night, Dan West Jr. got the win at Atlanta. We're going to New Hampshire Wednesday. 2 to go. They hold it together. They're coming to the line. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go. Race is official. This is it. Whatever happens, happens. Dan West Jr. holding on to that top spot. Into the corner. Sean Brightsman is there. That's his teammate. Devin West, his son, blocking John Annenbacher, blocking Ryan Bloom. 1, 2, 3, 4, Team LSRTV coming to the front door. Dan West Jr. powers on the bottom. Here comes Brightsman. Brightsman alongside. Photo finish. Dan West Jr. got it. Timing and scoring will update. 0.01 seconds at the line. Dan West Jr. Terry Radford, my pick. Remember, he wins and he moves on to the round of 8. No, my pick was Dan West Jr. Who was your pick? Dan, yeah, that's right. You pick Jeff Stabnell every week. And Jeff's coming to congratulate him right now. Dan West Jr. Dan West Jr. will take the checkered flag. He will win. Dan West Jr. came into this race in the playoffs before tonight. Number 7. He'll pick up what will be now his second win of the year to go along with 1 pole, 10 top 10s and 14 top 10. 10 top 5s and 15 top 10s. And the high five salute awaits. Whoa! Wow, boy, they're ticked at him, aren't they? Frustration. Oh, wow, boy. That is not Brett Johnson flying through the air. Wow, look at this. Anger. They really show how they feel at the end of the race, don't they? One more. Someone's coming at full speed. Frank Harris, what you got? Who's it going to be? Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. Oh. Cody Walton, Charles Wooten just took somebody out. Just took out Gary Nichols. All right, let's take a look at the results so we get off the air quickly since we're solo. Tonight, Dan West Jr. picking up the win. There you see the interval, 0.008. We only have SDK raw timing showing to the thousandth. So it's 0.008. Of course, taking the win over Sean Brightsman second. Devin West will finish third. John Annenbacher fourth. By the way, if you're doing the math, West, Brightsman, West, Annenbacher, LSRTV, top 4. Win Racing, 5th and 6th with Toby Ritters with a top 5 for Clifford. Kevin Smith would have had to bounce back after his problem earlier in the race. Jeff Stabnow, Brett Johnson, another group of Team LSRTV, 6 LSRTV teammates in the top 10. Roy Grande, Dennis Moore, top 10. By the way, 3 out of the top 10 for Win Racing. Ryan Bloom on the outside looking in 11th. Stefano Harris 4th. Stephen Paulison, Russ Lundberg. Ray Fournier, the top 15. Tyler Kim, Frank Harris, Gary Nichols, Dan Lowther, and multiple laps down is BJ Tidrick. Troy Daggett, 33 laps down, and that is the attempt of drivers like William Fletcher, Chris Camary, and Scott Hutchinson not able to make the start. And Charles Wooten also unable to take the green. Coming up, it is the Press Box Motorsports podcast show post-race, and we will grab our top 3. And I am exhausted, and I've been announcing a long time, and now I'm by myself, and we're going to do it quickly. So we'll be back in just a moment. is a Team LSRTV 1, 2, and 3. Welcome back to coverage of the Northwest Truck Series playoffs round 2 tonight at Michigan. All right, let's grab it real quickly. Devin West, man, you'll finish in third. Pretty cool to see all the teammates up there. 6 out of the top 10 are LSRTV drivers, and obviously good to see Dad in victory lane too. Congrats, you're third.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Wesley. Obviously, it's a pretty big deal for us to just have one guy beat Win Racing, but to have a top 4 is pretty sweet. I know this is pretty cool, and obviously, like I said, it's so hard to beat Win Racing. So to have a top 4 is pretty amazing.
Yeah, man, it certainly was. And I'll tell you what, man, looking at the information here, Devin, you are literally doing everything you need to do to put yourself into the Wednesday night playoffs, securely lock yourself in, probably with this finish unofficially to the next round. Obviously, we know Ryan Bloom and Dan West Jr. are, but you're right there on the bubble in third, man. You're taking this race and this season, and now you got to do what you got to do to go to the round of 8, right?
Yeah, I think I ran well enough to put myself in a spot where I don't need to win going into the third race or fourth race. I think there are. I'm not sure. I just keep running like this, and I'll be all right. I think 8 guys go through. I think I'm a top 8 guy every week. I guess I hold myself to that standard, so just keep doing what I'm doing. If I get a win, sweet, but otherwise, just stay consistent.
Stay consistent, buddy. Well, listen, we'll let you go. Thank your sponsors, man. We'll see you Wednesday.
Yeah, obviously, CLICKIT RV for sponsoring the series. Those guys do a lot for us, so I appreciate that. LSRTV up in the booth. You guys are great. Obviously, the team, Sean, Jeff, Brett, John, Dad. Those guys are obviously a ton of fun. Nights like tonight are better than winning to me. I mean, to have a finish like that is pretty cool. My sponsors, Effective Web Solutions, Kenny's Custom Hardwood, and Motorsports Distributing. All
right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. There's the driver, of course, of Devin West, Shelton, Washington. He'll finish in third. Sean Brightsman, again, as we mentioned, 6 out of the top 10 LSRTV drivers, 3 on the podium, including also JohnOnnenbacher in 4th. Sean, I know you wanted the win, but obviously, do you race differently when you got a teammate like Dan West Jr. beside you?
You do when we're dealing with the playoffs. You don't want to wreck your teammates out of a good finish. I definitely would have loved to win, but it was a great battle. I tried to get it done, but Dan got that one. But overall, great night for Team LSRTV. Really, actually, a good night for Northwest Racing Series overall. So it was a lot of fun battles there, a lot of fun racing.
I will say this, man, for sure. We had a moment the other night where I think Win Racing was 1, 2, and 3, and you guys returned the favor, and Team LSRTV did the same thing. Do you just enjoy Michigan? Do you just really like this track? It's a really racy place, Sean. What do you think?
It's okay. It's not one of my favorites as far as kind of with the trucks. It's just more of a draft piece until 15 laps or so, but it's a lot of fun to race. I mean, it kind of gets you that super speedway aspect, Daytona, Talladega, for the first little bit, but it's I do like the short tracks, the road courses, the 1.5 miles, a little bit more miles. Those are a lot of fun, and looking forward to next week.
All right, buddy, on to the next one. Thank your sponsors, and thanks for being on tonight. Runner-up.
Yeah, just got to thank CLICKIT RV for sponsoring the Truck Series and the Fix Series. LSRTV for everything you guys do in the broadcast booth. Everybody at Team LSRTV that worked on the setup, Dan, Jeff, John, Devin, if you got a chance to, Brett, everybody that worked on it. It was a great piece. And then whatever that last caution, and prior to the last caution for whoever that was, thank you, because that would have been a different story. So great battling. Thank you, Wes.
Yeah, tonight, Sean Brightsman, Team LSRTV driver, will settle for the number 2 position behind his teammate. And again, looking at everything, updating points-wise, I think they've just updated everything. Brian Bloom will now be the points man, 5 points over this guy, Dan West Jr. who will advance into the round of 8, the Shelton Washington driver. And my pick, congratulations, Dan West Jr., the strategy to be there at the end, carrying the momentum, by the way, because you won last Wednesday night to put yourself in the playoffs, I believe, at the other night at the race that we had for the fixed setup series. And man, make no doubt, I think you're carrying momentum after, by the way, can I say this? Atlanta and Michigan the last 2 weeks on the B series. Then the trucks come here and you win again.
Thanks, Wesley. I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel like momentum is definitely going our way, but I feel like I've definitely got some luck going my way too. So, like Sean was saying, it would have been definitely a different outcome if that caution didn't come out. Fortunately, we had some tires in the bank, and it just worked out for our team. So, at the end of the day, though, I don't want to short us. I felt like we had a really good truck. I was off on pit strategies there. I just never had the same tires, I feel like, as the guys up front. And I was able, Devin and I and all of us were able to hang in there and just kind of be there, right? I mean, so I feel like we had a really good truck, and I really want to thank Jeff. Really puts a lot of time in this deal, and I appreciate him for doing that and giving us something we can win with.
I got to ask you this question, and we can segue this to thanking your sponsors, buddy. I know we're going to get off the air here. It's a late night, and I've been calling this last race by myself for the last 70 laps. But got to be pretty cool. And you heard what your son said, that winning the races is awesome. The single camaraderie is great, but when it's a team sport, at Team LSRTV, 6 cars out of the top 10. And 4 in the top 5 when the checker flag fell. What's your take on that as being probably one of the veterans of the league for this team?
Well, I think to back up what he's saying is it's just it's awesome when our team can go out there and be 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, and race around these guys and trust them, right? But at the end of the day, we're all racers and just trying to have fun. And when we can end up with a good night, a good race, and have some luck on our side, that's what it's all about. So, yeah, you say you're happy with third, and you are when it's a battle, but it's sure nice to win too. As far as sponsors go, Effective Web Solutions, CLICKIT RV, LSRTV, CRN. Appreciate everything they do. You guys are awesome in the booth. Appreciate my whole team for always supporting each other. And the whole Northwest Racing Series, I think, put on a pretty good show tonight.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is, of course, Dan West Jr., winner again tonight here at the Virtual Michigan Speedway. He will now advance into the round of 8 playoffs with 2 rounds remaining. Next week at Milwaukee Mile, Homestead, Miami in 2 weeks to be final cutoff race in the round of 8. He joins Ryan Bloom. Of course, Devin West, Kevin Smith, and Dennis Moore, your top 5. Toby Ritter, Sean Breitzman, Jeff Stabnow, John Annenbacher, Christopher White, Stephen O'Hare, and Dan Lowther as it stands right now in the playoffs. We'll do it again on Wednesday with the B-Series cars. Their continuing regular season penultimate race will be Wednesday night, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, the Magic Mile. And, of course, next week, our series for the Monday Night Fix Series will be, of course, again at the Milwaukee Mile, Homestead, Miami. The playoffs continue, Season 10. It was great while it lasted with Terry Radford being here. I think he had some technical problems. Hopefully we can bring him back here for next Monday night. Jason Rockefeller will be joining me on Wednesday. And, of course, as always, you can follow live sim racing coverage at livesimracing.com, iRacing.com, wearecrn.com for all of our broadcast partners. For Rocket Racing Media, Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, all of our crew. For Terry Radford, this is Wesley Outland. Congratulations to Team LSRTV. 6 cars in the top 10, 4 in the top 5. When the checkered flag falls, Dan West Jr. wins in the